What's up everybody and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we're gonna be taking a look at this 2025 Hyundai Tucson. This one is the XRT all-wheel drive, finished in Ecotronic gray with an MSRP at $35,700. So we are on a 1,500 mile road trip with this SUV. So if you see a couple bugs on it, that is why. So we are enjoying using this as our road trip vehicle as we go up the part of the US. So with that said, let's get into this crossover, see what it has to offer. Underneath the hood of the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, you're going to find a 2.5 liter inline 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine. This makes 187 horsepower with 178 pound-feet of torque. We have the 8-track all-wheel drive system, an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission, and then curb weight is around 3,700 pounds. Max towing capacity is 2,000 pounds. And with a 14.3 gallon fuel tank, you can expect 24 in the city with 30 mpg on the highway. The overall length is 182.7 inches with a wheelbase at 108.5. Width is 73.4 and height is 66.3 inches. Ground clearance is also 8.3 inches. Moving on to the styling with the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, it's a pretty sporty looking affordable crossover. Got a really unique design for these lights. As you can tell, they are reflective. They look like black chrome throughout the grille. However, those two will light up as well as the two beneath that, and then everything else in the center is just the black chrome design. So a really unique look for that. The actual headlights are going to be down below in that quad beam LED. We have a nice trim piece to allow some airflow to pass through the bumper, and then a satin black trim design throughout the front with more openings down below. Got a blacked out Hyundai badge, sharp lines throughout the hood as well, so it's a nice update from the 2024 model year. On the hood, we got a couple sharp body lines as well, making our way into the roof line, and then you can see at the side more sharp body lines with a nice look at these rugged wheels. These are 18-inch diameter. They have a really cool pattern to them as well. I like the 5-spoke and the diamond color. You got some plastic design for the front fender flares, and then a lot of really sharp lines throughout the side profile. Really sharp lines cutting towards the back, body colored on the door handles, and then black on the mirror caps, integrated LED turn signal as well. And then this one's got all black trim throughout the side windows. Up above, we have your nice roof rails finished in black. And for the side profile, it's a pretty good size, smaller crossover. So really good proportions all around, and then sharp body lines all throughout it as well. You're going to see a couple dark trim pieces, integrated spoiler, Hyundai logos integrated into the glass, and then we have a really nice set of LED taillights with that LED connecting bar. Down below, we got all of your badging, a little bit of plastic black, and then a small tow hitch for a bike rack of some sorts. So overall, it comes together pretty nicely with a sporty, sharp look. Taking a look at the key fob, we got the Hyundai badge integrated into it, lock, unlock, as well as your remote start. If I go ahead and lock the car, you can just grab the door handle. It's going to automatically unlock, and we can check out this interior. This one's going to get a nice black leather interior, which looks pretty good for an affordable price point. At the door panel, primarily finished off in just black, we have some semi-soft touch plastic material, and we have our release handle, all of your controls, good size grab handle with padding on the armrest and storage down below. You're going to get power controls for the driver's seat, all black stitching with the nice perforations throughout the base, and then on the back you have the same perforations. We have the XRT logo as well, and then just all black for the headrest. Nice 3-spoke design for the steering wheel with some silver trim, and then the 4 dots for the center. And then now inside the 2025 Hyundai Tucson, keep my foot on the brake. We can go ahead and fire it up. Got the 2 massive screens that are going to turn on. And then along the steering wheel, on the left side, you're going to get some of the cruise control settings, lane keeping, and steering intervention. We also have Bluetooth and audio controls on the right side. Taking a look at the gauge cluster, pretty simple layout. You can scroll left and right throughout the center and see a few different things, power distribution, and then a lot of your trip info as well. So pretty simple. You got a cool look for the tach and speedometer. I like the old school digital screen. Looks really neat with the font they've chosen. Got your windshield wipers on the right side. Left side has all of your headlights and turn signals. Over down here, we're going to get the interior dimming, the tailgate release traction control, one of your air vents, and then some nice mesh material, and then just a softer rubber type material for the dash. We have a nice storage cubby over on this right side with all of your air vents integrated underneath it. Of course, we're going to get your full screen Apple CarPlay. We have physical buttons down here as well to get you into the main screen. So you have all sorts of different shortcuts, very similar to many Hyundai, so super familiar. As far as the cameras go, popping it into reverse, Got a pretty good backup camera, and you are able to adjust the views just a little bit, which is a cool touch. And then if we go ahead and put it back into park, underneath that we have some physical shortcuts that are going to operate the screen as well, which is a nice touch to get into even Apple CarPlay. You can go into your media and it'll go to the standard radio, or if you have your CarPlay going, you can go right into that. Down below all of that, you're going to see climate controls. We have our dual zone temperature with these 2 dials. We have fan speed in the center with this touch screen design. You have heated seats as well for front passengers, more controls, tuning over on the right, and then we have volume on the left. Down below, we're going to get quite a few extra plugs, and there is a wireless phone charging pad down below. Got some storage in the center for cups, and then all sorts of different buttons right here. We are going to get a locking design for the drivetrain. You can lock that differential in the center. And then we also have downhill assist, auto hold, auto start stop feature, shortcut to parking, and then we have your brake. We have a couple drive modes you can play with. It'll go into sport mode, normal, and then the snow and my drive. And then under that, we have some more of this soft touch material for your padded armrest, good amount of space, and then just a piano black trim piece up above. Glove box on the right side, large bucket as expected. And then one last look at the interior. Pretty nice overall, super simple. This is more of a mid-level trim, so not quite as nice as a Limited, but not super basic either. And I think for the price point, honestly, it's been a pretty good car to rack up some miles in. You're gonna get your dome lights up above and then just a nice thin mirror. Taking a look at the rear seat space, just grabbing the door handle and opening it up. Door panel's finished off just like we saw up front. You have a couple different textures. It's just all hard plastic back here. You have same thing for the armrest, a little bit of a grab handle, your controls. And then on these seats, you are going to see the same materials with the smooth leather along with the perforations. This can seat 3 people, and then you can pull this down. We have a nice armrest with cup holders. There are air vents throughout the center along with plugs down below, and then we have storage behind the passenger seat. You can also grab the recline lever, and this is going to fold down to give you better space into the back. So hopping into the back seat with the Hyundai Tucson. So with the recline, you can see how the different angles are. These recline quite a lot, especially for a smaller car. This is actually really comfortable. And with the driver's seat about at my height, I have a ton of knee room and foot room. The seat base also cradles my legs very well. This is honestly a really good back seat. Surprising for not being a jumbo SUV or anything massive. It's a really good use of space with decent amount of amenities as well. And then moving on to the cargo space, you're gonna have a button hidden way under here. You can just press that and automatically pop open the power lift gate. You have quite a lot of storage space in here, and I like how flat the load floor is, and you are going to be able to see some levers on the far right side, which is a really good touch to go ahead and lower the seats. So you're going to get about 41.2 cubic feet of cargo volume, and then that'll bump up to around 80 feet once you pull these seats down. I like that they have these levers, makes it nice and easy. They're going to fold pretty much flat, and then down below, we do have a spare tire underneath. Got a 12 volt over there with a LED light. And then very easily, we can just press the button and automatically close everything down. All right, so setting off now in the Hyundai Tucson. Just get that to some speed. So since this is not a hybrid or turbo or anything like that, it's a little on the slow side. However, I found that honestly, your day-to-day driving, it's been fine. Even getting up to some 75-mile-an-hour highways, you can still get into traffic. I just noticed a couple times, and you know, this is coming from someone who loves fast cars, I kind of gotta monitor the gap so I can get in safely. However, it's been adequately powered to get up and go. On the highway, I've also been able to get 30 miles per gallon pretty easily. We've done a little city driving, and we're only down to about 28.5 for the total drive this last 800 miles or so. But overall, this has been a pretty comfortable car. You know, the seats have a good position, good maneuverability to them as well. You got really good visibility out to the whole vehicle, so really no complaints with that. It is cool, depending on the drive mode, you can actually even adjust the steering feel. So right now we're in the normal steering feel. You can bump that up into sport, and actually gets a little bit tighter. So if you are going to be going under maybe some mountain roads or something like that, at least you can customize it, or just go into sport mode, and you can kind of dial up the car just a little bit, which you wouldn't normally expect for a more economy focused car. But overall driving's been quite nice. The suspension absorbs the bumps. You hear a little bit of the wind noise. However, it's been pretty doable for a long trip, and honestly, I've had no complaints with this being a highway cruiser, long haul type of vehicle. Don't get any fatigue or anything uncomfortable like that. So I feel like if you're looking for something that isn't gonna break the bank, you know, this is 10 grand under the average price of a new car, and yet it is very well equipped. There's no built-in nav or anything too fancy, but we have the Apple CarPlay, which is about all I need in any modern car. So with that, you know, it kind of just gives you the tech that you're gonna want in a modern car. And then taking a nice turn, it's a pretty stable feeling vehicle too. Again, for being more of an economy style vehicle, it's not like it feels like a tin can. It feels pretty solid, pretty well put together. Turning circle with the all-wheel drive is still pretty sharp, and given it has all-wheel drive, this is gonna be something that you can go on maybe a light trail or something. Obviously a gravel road isn't gonna do anything to test it, but this is something that you can drive, use it for the day-to-day, no matter where you live in the country. If you have snow driving to do, mountain driving to do, I feel like it's gonna be a pretty well-rounded crossover. So my honest thoughts with the 2025 Hyundai Tucson. So there's a pretty wide spectrum of these, ranging from a little bit cheaper than this, going up to around $42,000 to $45,000. So I think Hyundai's done a pretty good job with the spectrum of these. Driving in a limited with like a turbo or a hybrid engine, to me, those are what I would get, just because, I mean, they pack a really good punch and of course are even more upscale feeling. However, this one having the standard engine and a better than basic interior, at least with the seating. I mean, yeah, heated seats, CarPlay, not really much more than that is needed these days. So I feel like you get enough bells and whistles without breaking the bank to where this is a very well-appointed car for the money. Hyundais have always done a great job with just being ultra featured packed. You get a lot of car for the price. So I think that's a really big selling feature of one of these cars. I don't really have major complaints. If you're looking for just a simple, nice crossover, can't really complain. I think my only little complaint, nitpicky things, this trim right here is just hard plastic, and at least with my legs, when I'm on the highway cruising, my leg is kind of leaning up against it, and wearing shorts especially, it was a little toasty on our way up here, you know, this is a little uncomfortable for my knee. And a lot of cars these days are gonna have padding on this area, like a padded trim design, and even sports cars will have literal knee pads right here. So I'm kind of used to having padding right in this area. So for my knee, right on that bone right there, you know, the plastic is a little less than ideal. Super nitpicky. My wife, who was driving this half the time, didn't have any complaints. She's a lot shorter than me. So just depending on your height, you know, that's something to take into consideration. Other than that though, just the power, I would of course pick a higher trim one with more power, but Hyundai offers what you need. They offer the more powerful versions, which are super peppy, great way to go. This one, at least, it's not underpowered. Like, you can get up to speed, get up to 70 without really stressing. You're not redlining it all the time. So it's certainly not an underpowered vehicle, just I like power. So I think they've adequately done the car. The spec itself is a little bit on the rugged side with the tires, the all-wheel drive system, the plastic cladding. So this is gonna be something that if you don't wanna break the bank and you're looking for maybe something to take camping, do some hiking, driving this through the woods a little bit, this is probably a pretty good spec for you if you don't wanna get a top trim level. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, stay tuned for plenty more content, and tomorrow we have 700 miles to drive home, and we should be able to load up all the stuff that we bought up here in it. So it should be a pretty practical car for the next leg of our trip. That is it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, thumbs up, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.